I'm glad that you came here and sat with us, and we just have a couple questions for you.
Yeah, definitely.
I know you've been doing this for some time, for a long time, and I just wanted to know, like, what inspired you as a poet?
Um, as far as poetry goes, that's a funny story. Just because it was actually like middle school for me, like maybe sixth or seventh grade. I had an English teacher that I thought was like real fly or whatever. I had musical influence, like I could make beats or I thought in melodic ways. But as far as compiling words in such a way that was a poem and not a rap, that was new. So she gave us a poetry project, and more so, I tried to do my best with the poetry project because I thought she was a cute teacher, So I'm just like, I'm about to ball out and do this and that. So long story short, essentially that like encounter is what kind of made that blossom, because after the class, I still realized like, man, I got something valuable out of this experience. No matter what I thought about before I got into it, when I came out of the project, I'm like, I can actually do something with this. So it just started to evolve since then. And some of my inspirations for creating art is obviously artists that have come before me, especially Langston Hughes, is like huge. Just reading plenty of his books and just really getting caught up with that. And even another one who may not necessarily be a poet, but I really was inspired by him as a man, it was Sidney Poitier. So just like knowing those individuals and hearing their stories and understanding how that can translate back into a story that can move a culture or inspire a group of individuals, like it made absolute sense about what I needed to do and why I needed to write and what I needed to get out of writing for that sense.
I'm familiar that I know that you have canvas out right now. This is something
right.
I wanted to ask about.
Yeah.
Like, what are those different canvas, and why you mind sharing?
Certainly, yeah, I'll share that. So it's the 14 by 14 collection is what it's called. So it's a series of 14 poems, and they're each comprised of 14 lines. So each poem has 14 lines, and they tap into different stories. So what I did was I printed those poems onto like painter's canvas that are about maybe 8 inches by 8 inches, so people can hang them up on their home. So my way right now that I feel like I need to breach my demographic or my audience is I want to be inside of their homes. I want their grandmas copying my stuff and putting it on the wall, so that way, the grandchildren's every time they're at home or right before they go out to school, they see that on the wall, and it's an inspiring message, or it's a message that triggers a thought that just pushes them to think further about what the decisions they're making in their everyday life. So that collection was inspired just by that. So it's just different types of messages for different types of people. So grandmas may not buy all of them, but it's just like you can actually get one as an anniversary gift for your lady, or one for your guy, or if you have a friend kind of going through something, it's like an uplifting piece that you can gift to someone, as well as just purchase to hang in your home. So it was driven by that, and it's stuff about love, stuff about just empowerment, stuff about being black, stuff about just being human and understanding that we're living this life kind of for the first time, and we're trying to make it all work for us now.
I mean, I seen the canvas myself.
Oh
Yeah. Definitely, it would be a good idea to have them out at the dinner with poets.
Word? Okay. Yeah, I'll bring it through.
But
do I need to bring a table?
Yeah.
Bring a table or something like that?
There's table already.
Oh, it's already? Oh, perfect. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, and even I like the creativity of the idea that how you set it up. Like, instead of like having a typical like a book or something like that, but it's like a paint.
Right, correct.
Yeah, but these are words.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I wanted to keep it all plain too, so it's not like a lot of colors going on or a lot of different schemes. For me, I'm pretty stingy as a writer or as an artist. Like when I give somebody my creative experience, I want absolute control over it. So I don't want other artists painting on that. I just want my poetry. I want to be the paint on that page. Any color that they see, I want it to be from the poems that I put on that canvas.
It's funny you said that. I think I said this. I wrote this in one of my poems that word that I paint words into life.
Yeah. Put that one on Instagram, right? I watched that one.
Yeah. It was actually a poem that I was writing, but I put that phrase in. Yeah, because to me, like, as a poet, when when you articulate your point of view, you trying to paint an image.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and just
exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
Right. So I don't want any other thing conflicting with that image that I'm not in control of. Even when I make music and I step into that lane, you know, I'm all in about the experience. Once they put those headphones in, once they lock in, I want to be in complete control of the things you even visualize. Given that there's no scenery set for you, you know, because as an artist, that's our job. We got to go all in with the feeling and get people to commit to the idea that we're talking about and to get that message across. It's one thing to write pretty, you know, it's like, oh, I made this sound good, but did it hit home? You know, did it impact the individuals that you wanted to impact? Or, you know, of course it got to look, you know, of course it looks nice visually. You put this phrase next to that phrase and it kind of bounces off each other well, but is the message sticking home, and is it one that's kind of natural and necessary for where we are right now?
Yeah, and speaking of which, I can't stop looking at
the
hat. You just got the hat out from the Iron Root company.
Right.
Yeah. Would you mind sharing people a little bit about the Iron Root?
Certainly, man. It's a blessing in my life, man. It's hard to describe, really. It's something that came to me when I was 16 years old. I'm 24 today, so it was 8 years ago. At 16, I got a tattoo, and it was Iron Root. And to me, at that time, the message was just to you know, you can plant the seed, but if the root doesn't sprout, like, nothing happens. There is no tree. There is nothing, like, you know. So understanding that you do need to be firmly planted in something, you know, and also that for other people as well. So sort of that's where my mind was at 16. So if you just take that jumbled up message of something at 16 years old, thinking about life, it really translated into something really bigger that people can conceptualize for themselves. And it was, in order for me to be successful, in order for me to do anything in my life, I need to be the root of it. You know, I need to understand the moves that I have to make in order to be successful. You know, if I want to get food, or if I'm hungry, I need to get up and get food. You know, that type of an analogy. So right now where we are is we do events and productions, put on shows and events, and we have merchandise, and hats are of the latest designs that we have out now. We have some shirts coming, so it's just really a growing thing, and it's just a community for artists. Essentially, we're here to inspire all of mankind by restoring often admitted traditions. So some of those traditions involve community. Some of those traditions involves, you know, supporting other individuals, because it's hard enough to get support to do anything. You know, some people are trying to win things online, and they're like, yo, can you share my post? And that's a way of support, but also being there for certain individuals in their moments of being knocked down. There's artists who somehow can't get a fair chance in studios around town, and they can't record, and I like to be an individual in place to make sure that people do have a safe place to record their music, you know, and then an honest engineer in myself to be able to give them a product that they can be proud of. But not only that, it's you know, individuals who make excuses about, man, I can't be successful because this roadblock, that roadblock. Iron Root is in place to say there ain't no roadblocks, you know. We out here together and we gonna figure it out. If you got a plan and you got a message, you know, then let's figure out how to push that message, because there's no reason why the rest of the world shouldn't hear that. So that's kind of where we are, you know. I can't say we're like a for-profit based thing right now. Really, it's about the art community. It's about making this thing pop and making it happen for individuals who feel like you know, they need to take the next level in art. And what I tell some people is the brand itself is for individuals who are trying to make that decision from being, you know, just working every day in a job that they're not happy with and committing to being an artist. You know, it's just like, it's not that promising, so you can't just jump off the boat and say, yeah, I'm an artist, like, yeah, let's do this. You know, you actually need to feed your family. So it's helping those individuals figure out things like that. Like, how can you feed your family off of the art that you're doing? Put your art in a way that can be profitable for you, and you can live off of it and you know, be situated right. So in a nutshell, in a lot of words, you know, that's kind of where we are. That's who we are. And that's just the message that we're just trying to grow and instill just around the world. It's just us for us, man, you know, and that's it.
Yeah, I definitely love the phrase whenever you start the intro about the Iron Root. And me personally, I was touched by that root. Because I received a lot of love from a lot of different performers from your event. So I think I would have been where I'm at. Me as an artist, as a poet. Right now, like, people be hitting me up on on social media. Meeting random strangers that I never met before. They're like, hey, I like you. I like your performance. I like your piece. to me, it means a lot.
Right, bro. And I've watched you grow tremendously. It's like, it's beyond me, bro. Like, it's crazy to even think about. You know, I remember that one time you had a experience when your phone died. Like, you know, so like, you as a poet, man, as an artist going through this, you've experienced what's necessary in order for it to click in your mind, like what you don't want to happen, you know, and you're growing with that. And it's nothing about the content, because the content's already been there. Like, you're an intellectual being and you speak another language. So that helps, and that only, you know, it's like, it's for me personally, I feel like it should be a little easier for you. You know, you got access to way more vocabulary and understandings of things, so you can really get down with the pen. So it's been a blessing even watching you grow. So the fact that you are being benefited by the company, I mean, it's like a vice versa type of thing, because without individuals like you, we wouldn't be who we are. We wouldn't be effective. Because if we're not impacting nobody, then what are we doing? You know, besides just going out and standing in front of people showing how tight we are. Like, look, we do poems, but it's not about what we do. It's about what we can also get others to realize they can do too. I was talking to my best friend yesterday, and it was just like my mom instilled in me one very thing that I hold true every day of my life, and she proved to me that I could fly. So somehow I got here to Tempe, Arizona, and I just started tapping people like, yo, did you know you can fly? You know, it's like, yo, you can fly too. So everybody, yo, we can fly. And next thing you know, people taking off everywhere. Like another poet that I could mention who's freaking flying, and you know him as well. You perform at his shows. It's cute. Like, you know, I had discovered him on Facebook hosting somebody's event. Then I'm like, yo, you want to come through and perform at our show? And that was the love one. And then boom, next thing you know, like that summer he got events going, and it's moving and it's bumbling. It's like, and that's what I mean. People are flying and they're realizing they can fly. And it's just like a tapping everybody, like, yo, we could all fly. So it's happening, you know, and it's moving, and it's good to see and be a part of for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. To end this interview right now, I just have a couple random questions.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, if you don't know me, it's okay. One of the question is, how many poems have you written?
In my life?
Yeah. Can you name them?
I can't tell you how many poems. I can tell you how many pages.
How many pages?
There is over 1,000 pages of poetry I have.
Wow.
So far, yeah. And I have them all printed and archived, like, in my closet. But yeah.
You still keep them?
Yeah, I have it. Pretty much every poem I've ever written.
I threw 2 of my books away.
Did?
Yeah.
On like accident?
I did it on purpose. Yeah.
Hey.
It was too emotional.
Hey.
Back in high school.
Yeah. I got some of those. Yeah, that's why I deleted them off my Google Drive, but I do have them printed, so that I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen like 50 years from now. I may get re-inspired, or somebody may think I was an awesome poet and they want to go through all my work and do something with it.
Yeah,
sure, but to each his own though, because it's your art, bro. So however you feel about it, sometimes it's so much on us that we just hold on. No more. Like, I'm good. Like, I don't want to go back there. And you're absolutely safe in doing that, because even as a musician and a music producer, I have songs that I've written. You know, I try to vocalize and sing on, and you know, they're not necessarily like for public display, but they're works that I really were just feeling it. And you know, it's not like it sounded bad, but the content is not necessarily kind of what I want to be about or anything. You know, I had those moments. Like, I used to rap in high school. I don't want those songs to ever come out. Like, you know, that's just like, you know, and it's those things. Like, that stuff I don't have copies of. Like, that's gone. So I had those moments for sure, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we all human, bro. We all human. Like,
yeah, I regret it low key a little bit. It was a little childish, but I was at a different place there. Another question is your experience at your first spoken word. Where was it, and how did it go? Because I know everybody remembered their first time on stage. Yeah.
All right, so it would be like 2 real occasions. Once I was real young, I was in Sacramento. And everybody, I went out there with my CDs. It was for a conference or whatever. But I went out there with CDs. I was rapping at that time, but it was growth music. So it was all positive stuff. And they convinced me to create a skit, and then the skit involved me like using some other like group mates, and sort of it involved me being like an up and coming rapper. And my mom was like, no, go get a job. And then I had this audition, and I had to like perform my track in front of like the people watching it. So that was like, those were my audition people or whatever. So that went well. But as far as like actual spoken word thing, it was actually here for one of BAD's events, I believe. Speak on it. And I was doing it to one of DJ Zill's beats. And we couldn't get the sound right in the classroom to come out of the speaker, so I wasn't getting my timing right. So it was just like a train wreck in that sense. But overall though, I just like killed the music and did the piece, and the piece came out solid. But I had spent way too much time prepping though. Like I prepped a certain way so that way when it came through the speakers, it wasn't coming through my ears the same way I had been prepping. So it was like I'm not catching it. So I had to restart the poem at least 3 times, and I'm just like, man, never again. Like, because that was that moment for me. It was just like I realized, cool, I need to quit the gimmicks and just spit poetry. If I'm not in a position where I can be in control of how the audio is going to come out, and I can't deliver that boom in one, then you can't play around on beats, because that's where rappers get down. It's like artists like PK the Poet and artists. Plenty more, Teray and other cats that really get out on the mic, so I'm not trying to play on the beats until I'm really ready to really handle that. So
I mean, I seen you do a little mix.
Oh, right. Music. So, certainly I do it, but on stage is where I'm trying to get that down at. So that's my first performance as a poet was probably like 4 or 5 years ago, actually as a spoken word artist. Before then I was just writing. So that 4 or 5 years ago was that moment where I was like, I didn't come out of the gate without no music. I tried to do poetry on music and just go. So I was like, all right, no music for a second. Let's just do the poetry and then bring the music back into it a little later. So as I'm progressing, like I got it down now. I can do it any day of the week, But back then, that was like my first jump at it, and I just tried to go for it all,
Were you nervous?
Yeah, hell yeah. One, because like Zill and the other homies, they were there, so it's just like, cool, his beat is here. First of all, poetry in itself, like, is a sensitive subject. Not everybody, like we were talking at Trav Spot that one time. Men don't just like flock to poetry. So to have like your homies there, it's like, cool, I gotta do a good job and shit. Like, it's like, I gotta make sure I kill it just to represent. So not nervous just because of that, but just I haven't spit in front of people in a while. Like a lot of people may have heard some of my songs, or they watched some of the Iron Root video that we dropped before where I was doing poetry over. But I didn't stand in front of an audience before then and really get down besides that moment way before in Sacramento. So this is my first chance in front of everybody. Like Jay Tatum had went up and murdered it, so it was like, so with that kind of pressure in the air, it is like a little bit tough to kind of get settled right out of the gate, but it was something, that I pushed through really. I was on the phone with my mom for like 2 hours after, like, man, I messed up, this and that, I gotta do this better, that, and whatever. But she's still in there like, yo, you can still fly though, and she's still pushing me, and she still made sure that I understood that that was your first shot at it, and you understand how to take that information and then be better at it going forward.
Yeah, my first time out was, that's another story, man. Yeah, but I'm glad you came here and showed with us.
No doubt. Appreciate you for having me, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no doubt.